Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Agency Rainmaker TV show, where we talk to agency rainmakers on how they make it rain. And so delighted to have all the way from Canada on our show today, Karley Cunningham. Karley, welcome. What are you going to talk about today?
What are we going to talk about today? I think, because I was watching a few of your episodes and she is both a coach and a good friend of mine, we're going to talk about tiny marketing actions, because I know that you had Pam Slim on the show a few weeks ago, and she was diving into a bit of the book. And yeah, here it is. Look,
When you open up Pamela Slim's book, The Widest Net, on the first page, the name you see is Karley Cunningham. So you are a good friend.
Yes.
And a good mentor and all that. Yeah. So tell us, who do you serve? Who does your agency serve?
Who do we serve? So we serve fellow agencies. We have a niche specialty in positioning and differentiation, but we've taken that process and amplified it to help small businesses accelerate. But often agencies don't have the process in place. They might be doing marketing, they might be doing PR, they might be doing all the standard agency services, but they might not have honed that strategic positioning on the business side. So we either work in tandem, aka white label, with them, or we're now working on, and we'll be ready for next year, is they can license our methodology. So we work with agencies, and we also work with who agency owners tend to be, are also disruptors, innovators, and change makers. So the two audiences blend really well together.
I love the white label idea. And if you don't know what white label means, if you go to Walmart, the store brand, or if you go to Whole Foods, the store brand, that's white labeling. Somebody else makes it, but they put their name on it. So you're making this for people. I know I white label books for agencies where the client is their client, and I'm the I like to say the tool that's brought in to, I'm their tool, their white label tool to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, why reinvent the wheel, right?
Right. And I'm doing a Forbes.com column on the company named White Label. Very involved in Agency Management Institute and Predictive ROI, and we're all thick as thieves in this group. The names get passed around, so you'll hear it. But I want to dive deeper into the who you serve, because isn't it so hard to do that for yourself? We need someone like you to come in. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, agency owners, I was thinking about it today, and there's so many roles, and so many of us, as we know, Drew McClellan says, we're accidental business owners. So, we've been honed in a craft, whether it be PR, branding, marketing, ad buys, everybody has their own piece of the pie. And then so we come in and we do that. And then someone, a coach or an advisor, says, well, you need to expand your business. So then we tack on other services. And I think agency owners tend to wear a few more hats than other business owners. And hopefully I'm not offending any other business owners, but I know we're speaking to agency owners. And I think there's that passion for your craft. We know how to do it really, really well, whether it be, a left brain technical craft and understanding how to break down the numbers and data, or whether it be the right brain side of things. And I know I'm going left, right, left, but the other side of the brain, where we can bring those big concepts together and tie the threads together. And so the desire to work on, I know that for me, is the desire to work with clients and have my hands on stuff, not all the time, but sometimes is a driving passion for me. So what I'm trying to get at is we're doing all the things on top of running a business, and then we become the shoemaker's children, right? So the thing that we do might not be the thing that we do best for ourselves. And so that's one of the reasons that I not just deliver the Surefire Method for agencies, so that I can help them position themselves effectively, find their niche, define who their right fit clients are, because it's something we just don't have time to do as agency owners. But it's also, somebody in the community said it, and I can't remember who it was, but it's like trying to read your own label from inside the wine bottle.
Right.
You know what you do best, but it's all swirling up here in your head. And when you try to get it on paper, everybody else adds their idea to it, and then it becomes as clear as mud. So
for those of you who didn't catch her reference, the shoemaker's children, it's the fable about the shoemaker is so busy the shoemaker doesn't have time to make shoes for his children. So one night the elves come in and they make shoes for the children. And when you run an agency, and I've been an agency president, and you tell well, we don't have time to do marketing, it's the shoemaker's children. The shoemaker's children didn't find that story funny, and neither do the employees at the agency, that you're not spending time marketing them and marketing their work and making sure that they have a job and a chance for promotion and, for goodness sakes, a little money extra on the side at the end of the year. So that's what this is all about. Well, how did you get started in doing what you do right now, Karley?
Oh, wow. How far back do you want to go? I mean, I've been in this industry.
A
since
log cabin
college.
in the mountains of the Rockies in Calgary. I don't know.
Pretty much. Yeah, well, it could have been a cabin in Ontario. But I think starting in the industry, there's kind of a combination. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I was kind of destined not to work for anybody else. I work really well with people, not really well for people. And then the agency side of things, I started out in graphic design, very quickly kind of got curious about the web, as it was this, big unknown thing as I was coming through college. Back in the day when all the, the gray hairs were like, it fades, it'll go away. It didn't go away. And so I just progressively learned different aspects of the industry. I have a real gift for having people throw everything at the board, and me going, well, hold on a minute, doesn't that connect here? And so I can tell the story from a whole bunch of random pieces thrown at the board. So big picture thinking, narratives, but also for understanding how the parts come together. I'm a systems thinker, which I didn't realize for so long, because everybody was like, oh, you're a creative, you go off in the woods and create things. And so I bought into that narrative. And then I think it was StrengthsFinder, and realized I'm actually a systems thinker too. So those two blend really well together for helping start with the end in mind, and then helping take clients through the process, especially at the high level of strategy. So I just kind of bumbled along through my career doing all the things, answering clients' questions, and really it was about solving clients' problems. And so then fell in love with branding, because people were like, well, we need a new name for our agency, we need to rebrand, but we don't know what the right answer is. And so pulling people up above their company to help them see the bigger picture and set up the right foundational, we call them the fundamental beliefs and truths of their agency, and the proper positioning, which is really what the Surefire Method is all about. It all kind of came together progressively. It's that story about the overnight success that took 20 years. Yeah, that.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you make it rain for your business today?
That has also been a project in progress. So as you heard through the story, I was a generalist for a long time, and I had a general agency. And there's a really good F up night. It's actually full word, but we don't have a bleep button. Talk that I did about how I was building an agency, and I had big goals. We just purchased a new property, and the minute we did that, it felt like everything started sliding backwards. And so I started working with Pam Slim. And really, we identified that there was a couple things wrong. Is one, not necessarily wrong, but the industry had shifted so much away from generalization. So where did I want to focus and hone my expertise? So that was developing the core service and eventually codifying and systemizing this licensable system. The other was I was so busy in the business, again, wearing all the hats, and sometimes just focusing on what was easy for me and what I love to do. I did what I knew better than not to do, which was I stopped nurturing my community, my network, my strategic partners, or peanut butter and jelly partners, as Pam calls them. So the way that I now make it rain, which is featured in Pam's book, which is why I grabbed that, is by tiny marketing actions. And that's what you talk about, the shoemaker's children. So a lot of agencies don't brand and position themselves. They don't niche themselves because enough is coming in until it's not. So that's the one way I help our clients make it rain, is by getting them clear on that. And with us, it's they're eating our own dog food. The other is, because we're doing so much, tiny marketing actions are the easiest way to make it rain and fill that funnel. And I think that we suffer a little bit of this double-edged sword, that we know how to develop fantastic, complex campaigns that, have a funnel that leads to, A, B, C, D, and there's testing and there's data and but when it comes to ourselves, we need to be nimble. And so tiny marketing actions are literally just that. I spend half an hour to an hour a day. Often it's the first thing that I do. I have a tracker that sits on my desk to remind me, do your tiny marketing actions. And all that is sending off an email. Hey, Henry, how's it going? Is there any way I can help you today? Or, hey, Jose, I'm following up on that proposal that we were discussing. Are you ready to get started on it? Or reaching out to a strategic partner saying, hey, just checking in on that project that you had asked for help with. Is there anything I can do? So really 2 to 3 to 5 minute emails, if I get 5 of them done 4 days a week, that has proven to fill my funnel over the last 6 years. And there's lots of other ways, but just keeping in mind, what is a tiny action that you can do that's going to take 5 minutes or less?
One of the reasons I love Pamela Slim's book so much is my partner, Mark LeBlanc, who wrote the underground bestseller, Growing Your Business. He always talks about one a day. One a day, like a vitamin, one a day, one a day, one a day. And he means plant one seed a day.
100%.
And his seeds are the tiny marketing actions. They're not sales calls.
Nope.
They're help calls.
Yeah.
Or they're just checking in.
It's so fantastic to not have to sell and to simply be of service. And what I love is once you get, if you know where those seeds are planted, then it's just an exercise of going back and watering them. So it's not always planting seeds. Sometimes you can water them. If you think about the farmer's fields and you've seen that the big wheels that roll out and the big sprinklers that come across, one of my tiny marketing actions is I do every 6 to 8 week networking event with some strategic peanut butter and jelly partners. We've got it systemized. We send out the invite, we add people who want to be added to the list, and people show up, and I spend a couple hours networking and connecting, and again, being of service to people. It takes so little effort.
Virtually. You do that virtually?
No, actually, I do it in person here in North Vancouver. In
person?
Yeah.
Wow. You mean you must really have to like this to go out and actually meet real live people, dress up and do
I know.
jazz.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know what the funny thing is about the dress up part? It's actually called Casual Fridays. I live in a part of Vancouver, North Vancouver, that is quite casual. Most of us are trail runners, mountain bikers, hikers. And so I've literally said, if you want to ride your mountain bike down the mountain after a ride and show up muddy, I don't care. Just show up, come connect with community.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's not intimidating, which is so much better for those who aren't radically extroverted like I am.
Yeah. So you are not. Do you consider yourself an introvert?
Or sorry, no, did I communicate that wrong? I'm a raging extrovert.
You're a raging extrovert.
I am a raging extrovert.
Yeah. I've been called the same. And the people who work for me are introverts. And I have to understand that too, that where we get re-energized, the battery gets re-energized, they have to go off and be alone for a little bit and let the battery, and then they can come out and be 100%. So yeah.
And I think coming back to tiny marketing actions, that's one of the great things about them is you don't necessarily have to go out and do a lot of public networking like we had been taught back in the day. You get to pick the activities that fill you up, that serve your business, and you can schedule them in. So if you know you have to do some extroverted activities, you can work those with your calendar and your schedule when they work for you. So it's pretty awesome.
What are you looking forward to right now? What's on the calendar?
Oh, what's on the calendar? Well, I just got back from a huge trip to Australia and New Zealand. So the cool thing about that is it proved to me that business done in other, like countries is pretty much done the same, aside from small cultural nuances and words like, are you going? But looking forward, definitely looking forward to BABA and being in community and again, in person with all the amazing folks that we know.
BABA, the Build a Better Agency Summit,
Yes.
May 16, 17, Chicago, organized by the Agency Management Institute. 300 agency leaders will be together, and there'll be a lot of drinking and donut eating going on during that period.
Yes, there will. I'm bringing the donut eating to the US this year.
Yes, there you go.
And
Kinda-
you're going to
you'll be
participate in
like,
that with
instead
me.
of Johnny Appleseed, you'll be like the Timothy Horton of
The Timothy Horton.
planting donuts across there.
Yep. The
You're
elf
not-
who brings
if you haven't been in Canada, you won't get that joke, but
No.
but it'll kill up in Ontario.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay, Karley, thank you so much for visiting with us today. And we really recommend reading the book, The Widest Net by Pamela Slim. It's the best book on business development I've read in 5 years. I would have to say that Pamela Slim is my second favorite business development author.
Amazing. Who's your first?
I'm my favorite author, Karley.
There we go. See? We've all
But next to me, it's Pamela. Okay, thanks everybody. Just wanted to leave you with this message. We'll see you again on Agency Rainmaker, but in the meantime, make it rain.